speaking of completely ludicrous things, let's talk about this Green New Deal.
I can't even keep a straight face thinking about this.
I know, right? It's just like it's funny. We're getting I forget what it's called, like the Poe's law or something, where it comes to a point where you can't tell when things are satire or like reality. And we are definitely in that zone. We are definitely in that zone. I was like, because this freaking Green New Deal sounds like it. It looks and sounds like it should have come from the Onion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, at this point, the Onion has become redundant. Um,
Stuff that we were laughing about, 10, 15 years ago.
mm-hmm.
That's like, oh, that's kind of a ridiculous statement. Well, those ridiculous statements that we were laughing about are starting to slowly become reality. It's fucking. We live in a weird time right now. It's so weird.
It is. It's just like the absurdity of everything is just almost too much to bear.
Yeah. So for what we're talking about is Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, as I like to call her now. I still think that's her best nickname. She she's been bitching about like this Green New Deal that she's been trying to promote in Congress. And to be honest, first of all, I've read through it, and first of all, it looks like she had a homework assignment that she forgot to do, and the night before she had kind of a she downed a few beers and just kind of pulled an all-nighter to write it, because it makes no sense, for one. And
no, yeah.
And here's the crazy part about the Green New Deal. Very little of it has to do anything with the environment. It's about this puppy dogs and rainbows dream that she has.
Because it also talks about reparations for illegal aliens.
What does that have to do with the environment?
I know, exactly. I mean, for that matter, what did the Paris climate accords have to do with the environment? Nothing, except that more developed countries would have to fork out more the money to somehow offset the pollution that other developing countries are putting out.
Yeah,
that's it's no, you fucking tell them, hey, bring down your carbon footprint. Don't fucking tax us, because freaking India, is just barely getting their industrial revolution started.
Right. Here's a little bit of a sidetrack, but the funny note is everyone we pulled out of the Paris Accord. Thank God, so we're not just shelling out money to these other countries,
right?
For no reason. But
yeah, to China for one, who's the worst polluter out of any country.
Yeah, but not only did we pull out of it and save money, but we've continued to abide by what the Paris Accords were asking of us, and we've improved.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, because they're saying this is the worst thing ever. It's like, well, why is it the worst thing? It's like, oh, because we're gonna be starting polluting like crazy. It's like, actually, no. We already have EPA standards, and if you actually, yeah, because ocasio-cortez bring this up too, about talking about how private businesses are notorious for their externalities, basically unattended consequences of doing business, polluting waterways, or dumping waste or what have you. But actually, because of the EPA and their incredibly harsh fees, companies that company pollution has actually gone down.
Yeah.
And so we're actually as in terms of a country, the United States is doing really, really good about reducing its carbon footprint, quote unquote, and
absolutely ridiculous. But the crazy part with the Green New Deal is there's a few points that I wanted to point out that just it sounds absolutely ridiculous. One of the stipulations in the Green New Deal was plant like trees everywhere, like everywhere. We just need to plant trees. Okay, like is there like a strategic like area that we want to plant trees in, or
Right. Yeah.
it was just plant trees like everywhere, and it was like everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, like, are you saying that we don't have enough trees? Because I mean, last time I checked, the United States, uh, like per square mile, has more forest and vegetation than Europe.
Yeah, but nobody talks about that.
Yeah, but nobody talks about that.
And
Um,
hey, I'm fine with planting trees. I liked having more forestry, like more,
right? I
nice
like
things.
shade. Shade is great.
Yeah, I'm
You
all
know.
for it.
Yeah, I'm all for trees. Yeah, but you know,
That's
you
about
just
the
can't. It
only
can't be. It just can't be for the sake of planting a tree. You know, there has to be a purpose. You know, there has. I don't
right.
call me old fashioned, but I think there should be a purpose to doing something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm one for maybe not clear cutting forests, but kind of more of kind of like when we cut down trees, replacing them.
Right.
Though
Yeah. I mean,
with
you harvest a tree, you plant another one to replace it. Completely logical.
I think that's pretty logical. Um,
As yeah.
and then there was the other crazy thing that she was wanting to uh, get us to a within 10 years to have a net zero emissions carbon emissions thing, which how
Like
not,
yeah.
and let's say like none of her points like point out like how exactly this is going to happen. It's just like this is what we're going to do, and there's no like beginning point or solution to
Yeah,
like
there's no actual plan. She just says like I want to do this, but then gives no plan. It's like how are we gonna do this?
yeah.
You know,
So
it's just
her
like
idea is that because her idea is to completely tear down every building, office, commercial, housing complex, tear those all down and start from scratch to make them these super green, um, whatever, so it doesn't provide any carbon emissions, um, which after a short amount of time is going to bankrupt. We're going to destroy everything and then have no money left over to do anything.
right, and yeah, and like yeah, either like tear things, tear the buildings down or like retrofit them with solar panels. I don't.
The
This bitch is so annoying. I can't even stand her.
yeah, well, and then here's the kicker, is like we need to like we're gonna like it was and these are her words that all the likes this is all her. We're gonna like just stop the the what's it the combustion engine, and we're going to give all electric cars, and like we're gonna put chargers like everywhere, and we're just gonna like stop using planes, and we'll build like railroads all over the place. So, we'll do electric train. Yeah, okay. Uh, and even okay, and here even what's her face, Maisie Hirono from Hawaii was saying it's like that'd be a little bit problematic for us.
Yeah, for us island folk.
Like, they would cast them off into oblivion. Like they would get anything.
I don't like. Yeah, I mean, does she want us to go back to freaking boat travel, or like go back to
But
using
no,
like
but see, but that would be according to her, that would be too much emissions. Boats are too unless we're using sailboats back in like from the 18th century. Yeah,
no,
maybe.
right? Yeah, so we're actually going backwards and not progressing. You want us to go back to fucking like Spanish galleons and fucking
Yeah,
and fucking using donkeys to get around. And it's like, why?
like
Like, do you not?
it's
And like,
just
even if he started using like beasts of burden again, those using those also created kind of an environmental calamity because of all the shit.
oh yeah, and that's speaking of
Yeah, and
all
I
the
mean, there's
shit.
like there like back in the day when like trolleys were pulled by horses. Sometimes they were like those animals were so overworked that they would sometimes just like die. They would just collapse from exhaustion, and then like
Yeah,
they were just like left to be rotted because it took so long for like the street cleaners to come and like pick up the dead horse,
yeah.
which brought in disease. And so it's like, bitch, you want to go back to those times?
I mean, I don't think she's thought that through.
Of course not.
To
She's
be
a
honest,
fucking
like
airhead.
the what was the other thing that was? Oh yeah, it's like and to eliminate all the farting cows.
Oh yeah. Eliminate cow farts. It's like, well,
No,
how
no,
do we
she wants to.
eliminate cow farts?
No, she wants to eliminate cows altogether. Like
No,
to
exactly.
them to
That's
be.
that would be the only solution. How do you eliminate cow farts? Like, keep them from farting. How do we keep them from farting? Kill them. That doesn't sound very you know just wait till the PETA people put those two things together.
Well, but she is one of those PETA people. They're all into
Clearly
this.
she's not,
Green.
because don't forget, Robert, they always eat their own.
Yeah,
As soon as the PETA people put getting rid of cow farts. And how do we get rid of cow farts? We get rid of the cows. Well, how do we get rid of the cows? We kill them. They're gonna eventually. I mean, I'm not saying that they're the sharpest spoons in the shed, but they're eventually gonna put that logic train together, and they're not gonna be none too pleased with her.
well, here's a little tidbit: is that PETA actually kills a lot more animals than it helps to protect.
That's true, but then
They
the
are
idiot
they
followers
kill.
are gonna the idiot followers are eventually gonna put that train of thought together, and they're gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
it's
it's like the same way. It's the same lot. It's the same logic when people say, "Oh, we have to eliminate, man-made climate change." It's like, well, how do we stop man-made climate change? It's like, stop the humans. Like, well, how do you stop the humans? Kill them.
die.
That's
You
why I have resolved myself to anyone who brings up man-made climate change. My instant response to them is like, all right, kill yourself.
I'm the exact same way. I've been saying that myself too recently. It's like, okay, then just go ahead and die.
Yeah, it's like, go ahead and kill yourself. Reduce the burden, kill yourself. Because I mean,
And then the rest of
that's ultimately the thing that you have to do to stop man-made climate change. Because what are you gonna force someone to give up their car? And what if they don't? What if they decide not to give up their car? What are you gonna do then? Like, are you just gonna tax? Are you gonna like take their money away? All right, once you take all their money away, so what? Like the guy, like on principle, the person does, like someone like me, does not give up their car on principle, even if they don't have money to fill their car with gas. They don't want to. Someone like me doesn't want to give up their car. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have to kill me.
might as well.
Jesus, these people like they can't see 3 seconds beyond their noses.
Like I said, the whole and I urge you all to go and read this bill proposal. For a good laugh, but to show you that this ignoramus knows absolutely nothing. Her only
Yeah,
accomplishment was that she fooled people into voting for her in a very dumb district. For one,
right. And I hear like they're trying to dissolve her district for the next coming election.
It should be because A, she knows nothing, and then the other problem
Yeah, I
is
mean, because like
she's a liar.
let's take a moment here. Let's take a moment here and remember that what was it? When was the election? Like 4 months ago? No, less than 3 months
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, 3 4 months ago.
3 months ago, this woman was a bartender
That lived at home.
that lived at home. And I'm not saying that she didn't get like a good education or whatever, but the same point that people bring up about Trump, is like he doesn't have experience. Well, he's been president for 2 years. This woman 3 months ago was a bartender.
Yeah, and now like she's the fresh face of Congress.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
So fresh.
I'd be really surprised. Like, I would be really surprised if she actually even had a political science degree.
Well, I mean, she's already lied about where she's from. She touts that she's from, was it the Bronx or Brooklyn?
Yeah, yeah,
She's not
yeah,
from that area. She's
yeah.
not from that area.
She's basically a tourist. She like I mean,
She grew up
or
in
like
a
she has family that lived in the Bronx, but her and her parents lived in like upstate New York in a really really upper middle class suburban neighborhood.
yeah. It's and yeah, she grew up in, and she says that well. Then she tried to backspin it and say like, well, my mom, she was working for these people like in cleaning their houses. Like, no, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, her
That
mom was
didn't
like an
happen.
architect or something, right? Or
Yeah, and
someone
it's like,
like
and even
some
her,
sort of professional.
yeah, her dad was an architect and like
Right.
was making good money. It's all horseshit.
Right. Yeah. She plays
She's
at
fake.
being a woman of the people. It's like, bitch, your people, had little cucumber sandwiches and summers at a lake.
And
So
sprinkle gold flakes on
you
their
weren't in
ice
the
cream.
streets, playing in like the fire hydrant.
Yeah, and I don't care that like she's from an affluent area or whatever. It's like if you have good ideas, I don't care if you have like $1 billion or whatever. Who cares? If you got good
Yeah, I mean that's
ideas
what
and
I'm
you want to
saying. Like,
like make
yeah,
the
like
country
if
a
you
better place,
like
then go for it.
exactly, you can be from the Bronx. You can be from the Bronx, and if you have really good ideas and actual solutions, then I am fully willing to listen. But all she's doing is putting up talking points and saying how like, oh, the right wing is so obsessed with me. And it's like bitch, you say crazy ass things.
Yeah, and the problem is because she is a representation of her generation, of how dumb some of the voting base at that age is,
Mm.
and it's gotta that's why we talk about it, because she's completely just out of her mind.
Yeah, no, and I mean, and if she was eligible, for sure the Democrats would have pushed her to run for president.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
luckily she's only
guarantee
30
it.
years old.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. The green. If you want a good laugh, read the Green New Deal, but at the same time, we got to stop, touting these ignoramuses in our government, and I don't know. We need to start just shedding the dead weight.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because it's like she's so like it's funny because I get upset because I know how dangerous she is, and so like I feel like I have to go at her extra hard because you know not to say that she's dumb, but she is a shrewd politician.
It really
I
is. Yeah.
fully I know that she knows how to play the game, or she knows enough to be able to play the game well. And so that's why she's dangerous. Because I know she says like kind of crazy and stupid things, but that doesn't make her stupid. It just makes her dangerous
Right.
because she knows what she says is stupid and dangerous, and that she's able to get people to be like, yeah, that does sound good, and like just allowing that little space in people's brains is enough to like be able to control them.
Well, because you look at the media coverage, like after the Green New Deal was proposed in Congress, how the media portrayed it. They showed her kind of opening what I call her opening tirade or tantrum, as I like, and uh, they only showed her part of the conversation. What they don't show is the response to her crazy statements, and how
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, and they're pretty much showing it's like, yeah, nothing, none of this is gonna work, and this is pretty much calling her out, and she had no answer for anything. She
Right.
looked like, again, it may and the reason I didn't show it is because it made her look like an idiot that she is.
Exactly. I
And
mean, even like within a span of 24 hours, she contradicted herself on what the new Green Deal was.
yep.
And because at first, in the morning, I don't know, I don't fully know like the timeline, but in one interview with Chuck Todd on television, Chuck Todd asked her, like, oh, is this a government takeover of the private sector? And she said, no, 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 of course not. You know, but then I don't see how how she thinks she's going to be able to achieve anything in her New Deal or Green New Deal without a government takeover of of certain private
No,
sector
but
industries. But then in an NPR interview, the interviewer asked her, "Oh, like, would you say that this is going to be a full like government takeover of private sector businesses?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm totally willing to say that." And at a certain point, yeah, that's what has to happen. And I'm just like,
and
"Are you fucking kidding me?"
yeah. So which one is it? Is it not, or is it?
Yeah,
You
is
can't
this
have it both
plan a
ways.
government takeover of private industry, of private businesses, or is it not?
Yeah, it's she's speaking out both sides of her ass.
Yeah.